Welcome back. Before the break, we offered some advice to help small businesses succeed in 2010, but how about college grads, people entering the workforce at a very shaky and exciting time? Joining me with financial advice for college grads is our friend Mitch Slater, financial advisor and senior VP of investments with UBS Financial Services in Westfield. Thank you so much for joining us.
Absolutely. Glad to be here.
Mitch, this really is a challenging time for somebody to be entering the workforce.
Absolutely.
There is so much out of work talent out there, and it's going to make getting on your feet harder.
Absolutely, and then start day one with debt. You know, the average college student's walking out with their diploma with around minimum of $20,000 in debt. So when you add that to the equation, that makes it even more challenging.
All right, so what does somebody need to do? A recent college grad, what do they need to do now in terms of getting on the right track?
Well, you know, you need a reality check. Take a look at your financial situation. Understand where you're heading, all right? Take a look at all your debt. What kind of expenses do you have? You know, you've got these college loans. You've got car payments. What are they? Take a look at what kind of income is coming in. Take a look at what your expenses are. Put it all together, and you're actually forming a budget. So start by forming a budget, number one.
So you're compiling this list.
Right.
You've got your debt, you've got your expenses, you've got your earnings, and then after that you want to really start socking some money away and saving.
Absolutely. And don't forget about those credit cards. They're charging you roughly 18% interest, so you want to use those credit cards pretty sparingly. But saving. Pay yourself first. We've talked about this before. Never more important than a college student with their first job. You get fortunate enough, you got that job, you got a 401k plan, maybe a 403b if you're an educator or a government official. Start putting that money away first. Even if the company says you can't do it yet, do an IRA, do something, but start paying yourself first.
You were talking about credit cards and using them sparingly,
Sure.
and that's you're going to have to retrain yourself, I think, in many cases, because a lot of college kids, in some ways, will survive on their parents' credit cards, or maybe an ATM card.
Absolutely, and they're used to, you know, being in this college atmosphere where you know, the average student's got 4 or 5 credit cards, and they're paying this one off to buy that one, and it's not a good atmosphere. So immediately, if you do need a credit card, I understand that, but be careful with what you do, and maybe make double payments every month if you can. That's not a bad idea. You know, you also want to. Health insurance, you know, is huge, and most college students are coming out of college, maybe having some kind of a plan with they're under mom and dad. Maybe they were involved in some organization at school. Now they need to look into health insurance.
Do you think that's largely overlooked, though, for people graduating?
I think so. I think they have no clue how much it is. They just, you know, always thought about mom and dad covering them, and suddenly maybe they're not. So I think it's an important thing that they need to look at, as well as where are they going to live. I mean, the biggest cost for a college student day one is living expenses.
Cutting the cord.
Oh, absolutely. But maybe you need to put that cord back.
Right.
Maybe you need to go back and live with mom and dad. And I'm not telling my kids to do that, but somebody else's kids is a great idea. But you know what? You can save a lot of money and eventually help with a down payment on your house. So, you know, not such a bad idea to go back and live at home or get an extra roommate.
So let's talk about your student loans, because wow. In many cases, it takes years and years and years and years to pay these off. So what do college grads need to keep in mind when figuring out how much they can pay?
Well, number one, you got to calculate what you owe. You got to sit down and figure out what you owe. Maybe sit down with the actual company where you got the loan and work out specifically what your calculations are, because that's going to be your first payment every month. And maybe somehow that can be renegotiated. You know, you need to look into that, but you can't ignore it. It's not going to go away, and that's got to be job one.
You want to sit down and really crunch the numbers.
Right, you've got to crunch the numbers. You've got to start setting goals, all right? Because you need to know what your expenses are going to be. Have a goal, have a plan, stick with a plan, because eventually, you know, this financial crisis that you may be in, you know, you want to have a financial future that's going to flourish in the long run, so you've got to put all the numbers together. It's very important.
You really just need to see and know what you can afford on a monthly basis.
Know what you can afford, exactly. You know, your restaurant expenses, your entertainment expenses, you know, you may have to cut back. The car, Eric, that's another big issue. Let's not forget the car. Everybody wants to go make that big payment. They got their first job. Maybe you want to take the bus or the train a little bit longer.
Hold off on the big ticket purchases for a while?
Absolutely, because you're going to have 20, you know, huge interest rates, and you're a 20-something, especially in New Jersey, your car insurance is going through the roof. So, you know, the less you can pay with that, and the more that you can, like I said, get on that bus, hit up New Jersey Transit, might not be such a bad idea to start with.
Set your goals, though, right now.
Right. Set your goals in place. Know what they are. Start with some sort of a plan. Build on that. You have to repeat it. You have to, you know, be something that's repetitive, that you're doing every month. keep the goals in front of you and know what you have to do.
All right, Mitch
Very
Slater
important.
from UBS. Mitch, so good to see you again.
Pleasure.
Great seeing you, Mitch.
Yeah, happy graduation.
All right, our thanks to Mitch, and good luck to everybody who is graduating this year. Once again, if you have any questions or comments about anything that you've seen in today's show, be sure to email me at itsyourmoney@news12.com. And folks, that's going to do it for this week's show. I'm Eric Lanscarter. We thank you for joining us. As always, until next time, keep watching, keep saving, and remember, it's your money.